4 days, no food, no water, just me alone in the wilderness. And yeah, it's been over a year since I survived that. And no, I wasn't kidnapped. Tortured, well, yeah, a little bit tortured. What if I told you that it was my decision? I put myself in that situation. After I finished my shamanic practitioner training, I heard about a vision quest, an ancient rite of passage that sounded, well, impossible. So, yeah, I thought I still want to do it and I want to try it sometime, but where? Well, it wasn't long before the universe got back to me, just a few days later. I went to an amazing ceremony, met some incredible people, and there on the wall I saw a poster, Vision Quest, and they ran Vision Quest for people, and I knew that this is my chance to do that challenge. Now, the thing is, you don't have to run off into the mountains in Peru to gain the same wisdom, because what I learned was already within me, and it's within you too. So the first lesson that I found and that I brought back is through the fire comes growth. And I've got to be honest, when I signed up, I thought it was just no food. I thought, they'd give me water at least once a day. Maybe I should have done more research. But it was just before we were gonna head to the mountain, to the tipi, and they explained if I drank any water, it didn't count. The vision quest would be over. It wouldn't be on. And I met someone just the day before who, when I told them about it, they were like, oh, that's good, because you can't survive more than 3 days without water. So I quickly Googled it to fact check it, and yeah, 3 days is about as far as you can go. But then they shouted, it's time to go, time to make our way down the mountainside to where the teepee stood. So yeah, I had all of these nerves inside me, wondering whether I'd survive, fear. But the view was beautiful, at least. Just sitting on the side of the mountain. Still, I was definitely going to be in for a rough ride. Just before leaving me, the shaman that I'd been staying with did a reading for me. He looked me right in the eye and said, "You're building a community." At the time, I didn't know what he meant. But now, looking back, I get it. This is the community. You're part of it. And we're creating it together. So if you're on a healing journey, if you've been through the darkness and you're finding your way back to the light, or if you just know deep down that there's more to life, you're in the right place. Please hit subscribe, because this space, this channel, it's here for you, for your healing, your growth, and so we can keep walking each other home. And I really appreciate all of the feedback and all of the love. Thank you so much. One of the most important lessons, and I'm so glad that I did it. The first thing I learned, the power of pushing through pain. Walking through the fire is where real transformation happens. I meant metaphorically, but also literally. When things get tough, and yeah, I know it can be really tough, really hard, painful. But through the fire, through the pain, that's where growth happens. That's where the real growth happens. I'd always known that on some level, but this was different. The Vision Quest gave me a physical reminder. I felt the hunger. I felt the thirst. And I really grew through that experience. And if you're going through a tough time right now, know that your fire is shaping you. It's not breaking you down. Pain often feels unbearable, but it's in those raw places where the most beautiful growth happens. Instead of running away from it, ask, what's it trying to show me? What's it trying to teach me? What strength is being called forward? There's gold in the ashes, so keep going. And lesson 2, what we hold on to holds on to us. By the second day, I was in charge of looking after the fire in the tipi, and it was just smoke everywhere. It had been for 2 days. I was so thirsty. My eyes were stinging. I couldn't see anything. I tried everything. I changed the wood. I moved things around. I checked the airflow, adjusting the tipi flaps, just to see if the wind was blowing smoke back in. But nothing I did helped, and it was rough. And it had already been a really hard day. I looked through my journal and everything I'd written was negative. Page after page, how thirsty I was, how tired, how hungry, how awful everything felt. And in that moment, I realised I didn't need to hold on to any of that. So I tore the pages out. I sat with the fire and really connected with it. I blew into the paper. I whispered some heartfelt words and fed it to the flames and watched as the fire consumed it. And then, just like magic, all of the smoke just disappeared. And it was incredible. It showed me that I wasn't alone. The wind was talking to me, the fire was watching me, and the earth was my teacher. That connection was so real, so alive. And I learned then that we can release what no longer serves us. We don't have to hold on to negativity. We can just let it go. So ask yourself, what have you been carrying that you don't need to anymore? Is it a story about your past, about your self-worth, your limits? Take a moment to acknowledge it and then release it. You can burn it, write it down and tear it up, or speak it aloud into the wind. The elements are listening. Letting go clears the smoke so you can see again. And lesson 3 was that gratitude is a portal. Gratitude instantly lifts your frequency. It's like lighting a torch in the darkness. In the silence, no music, no podcast, no voices, I met someone I hadn't spent proper time with for a long, long time. It was me. Without the roles, without the pressure to perform or to please anyone, without trying to be anything other than me, myself. And it turns out, probably luckily, I actually really liked my own company. I laughed, I joked, I played. I found a friend in myself again. And that in itself is life-changing. If you've been feeling lost in the noise, disconnected from yourself, just take that time to sit in silence. Even a walk without your phone, a quiet cup of tea, just let gratitude anchor you in the now, and you might find you're not as alone as you thought. You might even find a friend in yourself too. And lesson 4, you're stronger than you think. That final night, everything slowed down. I was weak. I wasn't sure I could make it through. But through the silence, something rose in me. strength, power. And it had been there the whole time. Getting through that moment reminded me of how strong I really am. And if I can do that, then what else have I underestimated myself on? What else could I make it through? And this doesn't have to be a vision quest. It could be getting through a heartbreak, a loss, a depression, or just surviving a really hard time and finding the lessons in it, and using those lessons to help others. So if you're facing something right now, if it feels impossible, please know you have more strength in you than you realize. You don't need to figure it all out. Just take the next breath, the next step. Let the experience shape you. One day you'll look back and realize you were so much braver than you knew. And then came the sign. The final morning took forever to arrive. I never thought the sun was going to come. But when the sun finally rose, I crawled out of the tipi and just lay on the earth. I was exhausted, but sort of buzzing and glowing. There was this feeling of peace, connection and wholeness. Like I'd been cracked open and finally remembered who I was. And then, out of nowhere, a hummingbird. And it hovered right above me, looking directly at me, as if to say, "You did it, you made it through. Now go enjoy the nectar in life." And then it flew away again. I looked around. I was thinking, was that really a sign? That must have been a sign. And then I lay back down and it came back. And this time it hovered over me for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And yeah, it's amazing. There are signs all around us, all the time. The earth is always speaking. We just have to listen. We have guides. We can ask questions. We can receive the answers. The hummingbird was just one of so many. So if you've been waiting for a sign, then ask. Ask for a sign and you might receive it. Or maybe this video is your sign. Open your senses. Ask your question. The earth has a way of responding, whether that's through animals, wind, dreams, sensations, or people. You're not alone, you're deeply held, and you're being guided even now. I'm so grateful for everything I learned. Wherever you are on your healing journey, know this: it's okay to challenge yourself. If you're going through something difficult, remember, there's a reason. You will come out stronger, wiser, with insights that might help someone else. We're all just helping each other home.